What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Christiana. If you're returning to my channel, I just want to say I am so sorry I've been MIA. After I released my short film, which you probably all have hopefully seen before watching this video, that really took a lot out of me. It was a lot of work and it was a big project, so I just been kind of taking a break since that. But now I'm, recuperated and ready to jump back into my normal routine of posting videos every week. But before I even jump into this video, if you haven't already seen my short film, I Surrender, go ahead and watch that first, because not only is it a great film and my first film and you should watch it, but it also will make a lot more sense once you've seen it, what I'm about to tell you in this video. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch that. Also my channel called I Surrender. If you have seen that, thank you so much for watching that film. I really hope you enjoyed it. So as you can see from the title, this video is literally going to be me spilling all my secrets on how I pulled that off, how I wrote the script myself. Like, this was an independent story I wrote myself, with the help of my co-director. I edited it myself, produced it myself, casted it, everything, like with the help of my co-director, but like not under a company, not with any other adults. Literally, this all just was an independent thing, and I literally did this with no money, like no money at all. Like, so a lot of people think that they can't get into film because it takes so much money. As long as you have the equipment, which I already have the equipment, for those of you who know me, you know. So if you don't have the equipment and you're starting off, there are ways to get around that. Like, for example, having an iPhone, using iMovie if you have an Apple laptop. Just use lamps that you have. But like, as far as myself, I do have a camera, I have ring lights, I have, film lights, I have green screen, I have, Adobe Premiere. So I do already have those things. If you don't have those things, you can also work around that as well. But moral of the story is, I did this with like literally no money, no budget. And as you can see, if you saw it, I pulled it off pretty well. There is always room for improvement. I'm a beginner, obviously. But I'm basically just going to let you guys know exactly how I did it and how fast I did it. So the first thing that you need to do, obviously, no film can be made, no movie can be had without a story. My story that I wrote for this film, I actually wrote about 5 years ago when I was still in high school. I had a project for school. We had to write a script. I wrote this as a trailer initially. It was never supposed to be a full film. It was supposed to be like a teaser trailer for a movie that doesn't exist. But I basically revised the script into an actual short film, and we rode with that. So I wrote this script years ago, and I revisited it, and I just made it a lot longer. I added a lot of characters, and I made it into, a lengthier project. So before anything, you need a story. You need a script. When you first just writing your script, just literally write down what you see in your head. Just write down everything that you think, everything that you see, and write like just the story. Don't worry about the lines. Don't worry about how the settings are going to connect in real life. Just write your story, and then you go back later and you figure out how to turn your story into a reality. Basically, how are the settings going to match up with the settings that you can get in real life? How are, the characters going to go? And originally, when I wrote this story, I had way less characters. There was only about 5 characters that had lines. But after having casting calls and auditions and, just letting my creative flag fly, I ended up adding a lot more characters, and it ended up enriching the story, making the story better. And don't think that when you write a script, you write the script and boom, that's it. It can't be changed. I was changing the script up until the day we recorded. The day we were shooting, I literally was like, oh, add this line, add that line. So don't think that you're ever locked into anything, because this is your project. This is your baby. You can add what you want up until the very end. My script looks like this. I have the summary of my whole story on the front, just so that, my actors and the people that I have involved can understand what the script is about. I have my actor list, all the people who are going to be, portrayed as characters down here. And then on the next page, I just jump right into the script with like scene 1. Now for me, I would do scene 1, where we're at, what time of day it is, what props we need for this whole scene, and then I get into the lines. You want to keep your script super organized so that your actors can see, and just so that you can see, because like when I was recording and when I was shooting the day of, it was a lot easier for me to look and say, okay, before we, leave the home base and go to our first location. Let me make sure I have the suitcases, the cards, the cigarettes, like the props. You just really want to make sure you have all of that organized so you're not forgetting anything, and like you're in the field or you've moved to another location and you're like, shoot, like I forgot all this stuff. So yeah, this was my script. And this is step 1 of doing a film, the story. Once you have the story planned out and the actors planned out, now you obviously need the actors. So what I did for getting actors for myself is I really just use Instagram. Instagram is an amazing tool. If you're into film or anything like this, film, YouTube, whatever it may be, music videos, if you don't have an Instagram, you're really like selling yourself short. Make an Instagram and really utilize your Instagram to push what you're trying to do, because Instagram is the most popular thing right now, and that is really what saved me and allowed me to get actors. So I made a little post on my iPhone, and if you are watching this and you have an Adobe account, you use Adobe Premiere, whatever, you need to download this app called Spark Post. It's this app right here, this yellow app, Spark Post. It is amazing for making like banners, flyers, you know, interest posts, whatever. I use that app and I made all of these different actor, you know, like casting call, blah, 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 blah. So you make a casting call interest post. I made a casting call interest post. I said, it's a short film, amateur, you're not being paid. This is like publicity for publicity. You help me, I help you. I said, if you're interested, DM me, I'll tell you what the film's about, and then we can go from there. Because at this point, you don't know where you're going to have the auditions at yet. You just need to know if people are even going to be interested. So I posted that, and I got a lot of DMs. People were interested. They wanted to know what the film was about. So once people asked me what the film was about, I took this summary right here, copy and pasted it, sent them the summary. So, okay, boom, they can see what the film's about, if they're interested, if they're not interested. And with this film, it was a Christian film, so I definitely wanted to make sure people knew it was a Christian film because, you know, not everyone's on that wave with religion and everything. So it's easy to just figure out right then and there if they're going to be interested or not. So once I had a whole group of people who were interested, I then went ahead and tried to secure a location for the auditions. I ran into a couple walls with the locations personally. I was going to have it at my church, but then that fell through. We were going to rent a hall to have it at, but then that fell through. And I eventually ended up having it at my college. And I really was skeptical because I figured it's summer. My college isn't going to let me have auditions there. Like, it's not a semester. I'm not even a student there anymore. I graduated. But I actually ended up emailing my film professor. And I was like, I want to have my own film and I need somewhere to audition. And he was totally on board. He set up a room for me and everything. And I'm so appreciative of that. So he really came through for me there, and I ended up having it at my college. So if you're a college student and you need somewhere, don't be afraid to ask because, you know, it can work out. So I ended up having it at my college, and I have a vlog of my auditions on my YouTube channel as well. So if you are interested in like what it looked like, how that went specifically, go ahead and watch that video. I'm not going to get into it right here when I already have a video made. So if you're interested in the auditions, like more in depth, go watch that video. But anyways, I had the auditions. It went pretty well. I had the scripts with me. I highlighted each character's lines and I wrote their name at the top. I said, which part are you interested in? Handed them that script. They auditioned for me and it was great. Because of the auditions I had and the amount of people that showed up, I ended up adding more characters to the script just because I kind of didn't want to turn anyone away because I was so flattered that people really took the time out of their day to come to my auditions. So that was just me. You know, I wrote parts in for people because I really didn't want to turn anyone away. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, a professional thing or what, I don't know, but it worked out for me in the end, so it doesn't really matter. But if you run into that same thing and you want to write a character in, that's totally up to you. This is your thing. Like I said, you don't have to stop adding to the script at any point in time. This is your thing. So I had my auditions, I picked my actors, and I told the actors, I said, okay, I want you to be in my film. I'm not going to tell you what part you got until you agree to come, basically. Because when you're dealing with strangers, there's always a chance they're not going to show up. There's always a chance they're going to be like, I don't want that part. I'm not coming. So I was like, I'm going to be clever. And I'm going to type up this little email. So I typed this email. I was like, and I was super professional about it. I was like, I'm very pleased to inform you. You've been picked to participate in a film with Christiana Yvonne Productions. Sounding all cool, you know. And I was like, the dates that we're going to film is going to be this date and this date. If you know you can make those dates, if you know you can commit to those dates, respond to this email with, yes, I absolutely can commit. I have off work. I don't have class. I don't have nothing. Then and only then, once you agree to this, I will tell you what part you got and I'll send you the script. So I sent that out. People responded like within hours. I was so excited because I really just felt like I was being taken seriously at this point. People responded, I agree, I can make it, blah, blah, blah. So then I was like, okay, you've been casted for Isaac. Here's the script. This is where we're recording, blah, blah, blah. And it was great. So when it took the time for me to do locations, which is another very important part, you need to take the locations from your mind and how your story is, and you need to turn those locations into reality. So for me, it was easy because my locations was a house, a church, and a parking lot. I was initially going to use my best friend's house. That fell through. I was going to use my co-director's house. That kind of fell through. And then I ended up using another family member's house. And they were nice enough and kind enough to let me like take over their house for the day and record there. The church I used was my local church in my town, a church that I go to every Sunday. My pastor was nice enough to let me use his church as a background. And then the parking lot was like free game, you know, in front of another church near me. So I basically just, with those locations, I didn't need any permits. I didn't need any like big deal type of permission. So that was pretty easy. So I said, make sure you're here on these dates. Next thing I did was I typed up very specifically and very organized everyone's wardrobe and props. So I typed up, you know, Isaac, main character, you're in scenes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For scene 1, you need to wear this. For scene 2, you need to wear this. For scene 3, you need to wear this, and you need to have a suitcase. I literally wrote up everything super specific and organized so that everyone knows what to bring. Everyone knows what's going on, and you can just be organized. So I typed up a wardrobe itinerary, which is what I called it to sound very professional. I typed up a wardrobe itinerary for every single actor, sent it out. The next thing I did was I typed up, you know, at 10 a.m. we're meeting at this address. At 12, from 12 to 1, we're going to shoot scenes 1, 2, and 3. We're going to have a lunch break at 1 o'clock to 1:30. From 2 to 3, we're going to go to location number 2, and we're going to record scenes 5, 6, 7. And I wrote it all up very organized. Once again, I wrote everything out like to the T so that everyone knows and understands what's going on. So when you're doing this, just stay super organized and super just like plan everything out so your day can go smooth. It worked out really well for me, and a lot of the actors told me that, you know, they were very pleased with how organized I was and that it was easy to understand, and it just went really smooth. So just always keep professionalism and organization when you're doing anything like this and dealing with any type of strangers. Luckily for me, my cast that I chose, they all got along super well. It's almost too well, to the point where I had to keep telling them, like, stop talking, like, we have to get this done. But it was really fun. By the end of the day, everyone was talking, chilling, and it was just a great time. I also had a backup date, like a rain check date set for reshooting, just in case. And I actually did using that reshoot day. If you've seen the film, like I said, the car accident scene, I had to reshoot a second time because it's really hard to get a good, like, realistic, not corny car accident scene like that. And I wanted it to look authentic, and, like, obviously I couldn't really hit her with my car, so I had to figure out how to do it. Looking back, I could have done it even better than that, but, you know, that's what I got at the time. So we used my rain date to reshoot that, and because I told them the 2 dates in the beginning, they were available. So like I said, always leave yourself extra room to reshoot, because you never know, you could get home and, like, you're missing something, you know, your camera was acting weird, your audio stopped working, something can always happen. So just leave yourself that room to be, you know, extra. So from the day that I finished writing my script, I took about a month to revise my script, rewrite it, and have it good and ready enough that I felt as though I could move forward with finding actors. So writing my script and working on my script with my co-director, I took about a month, maybe a little under a month. Once I finished my script, I posted my post. I gave it a week. I posted the post. I said, who's interested? After a week, I grabbed all those people and I said, okay, you guys said you were interested. This is when the auditions are going to be. This is what time they're going to be, where they're going to be at. Be here at this date. that was the next week. So a week after that, I had auditions. I went home literally that night, and I think 2 days later, because it was on a Thursday, that Monday, I emailed all the actors. I said, "You've been chosen. These are the dates we're going to shoot. Can you make it?" They all answered me by the end of that week. So I gave them a week to get back to me. After that week, the next week was when we were shooting. So I was like, okay, I put everyone in a group chat. I said, okay, this is the cast. Get to know each other over here. We're meeting next Saturday. I emailed the wardrobe itinerary. I emailed the scripts, and I emailed the scene itinerary. So that week was all like questions. Everyone's getting ready. So then the morning of the film came. I was super excited. The morning of the film, I woke up 2 hours before we were supposed to meet. I packed up all my lights. I packed up my camera, my tripod. I packed up all my scripts, all my paperwork. And I took everything over to my family member's house where we were shooting the majority of the film, the house that you saw if you've seen my film. I set up everything. The first form I had everyone fill out was this actor agreement form. It says Christiana Yvonne at the top. All this stuff, sign at the bottom. So this form is basically just saying, like, you grant me the right to record you, post you on the internet. If in the future this blows up and I make any money, you can't come back and like claim that you deserve some money for this. It says there's zero compensation, like you're not getting paid. It says, you know, you agree to show up the day that we shoot, and like you just agree to everything basically. And obviously this wasn't legally binding, you know, I don't have a lawyer or anything, but it was just something like to make them feel like this was real. Like it is real, but you know what I mean? Like I'm not a company. I don't have like a law team behind me. But like I said, this whole thing, you just need to ooze professionalism. Like you may be a beginner and an amateur, but they don't really know that, you know? So I wrote up these agreements. I forgot to mention earlier, but when the actors came to the auditions, I had them sign an availability sheet, basically telling me when they're available, just so I can say, you know, you said you were available on Saturdays, now you're saying you can't come. Like just something to go off of. So this worked out really well. But yeah, so once all the actors got to the set, they signed all the paperwork agreeing to this and that. We dove right into shooting the film. Because I wrote that itinerary, it helped so much. Like we knew where to go, when to go, what to bring, what to have, what to do. And it just really made everything super smooth. So the shooting of the film was really fun. There was a lot of bloopers. Because, you know, you're dealing with amateurs too. They're not real actors, you know. A lot of them didn't memorize all their lines, so it was kind of hard to feed lines. And when it came to editing, it made the editing a lot more like annoying. So my advice to you, if you're shooting something and you have actors, tell your actors or make it a requirement that they memorize their lines, or they know the gist of their lines. Like, because feeding lines, it's a pain in the neck when you have to edit. You have to chop everything up and then stuff doesn't flow smoothly. And that's definitely something I wasn't happy with in this film. If you watch it and you can see a lot of the main characters' lines were cut up a lot because I had to feed them a lot of lines. And, you know, it's also my fault too, because I didn't make it a requirement that they memorize them because I felt like I was asking for too much. But next time I'm definitely going to make it a requirement that, you know your lines. My main character, Nadia, she knew all her lines, and it was like so helpful and amazing. She could just go right through it like on cue, and I really appreciated that. So that was really great. But yeah, if you're having actors, definitely tell them, read your lines, know your character, know their background, just know your part. Because in the real world, if you're going to be an actor, you can't show up to a Hollywood set and not know your lines, that's like ridiculous. So yeah. So we shot from 10 in the morning until about like 9 o'clock at night, straight through. We finished everything. It was so much fun. It was a great experience. I made sure that I kept charging my camera. I made sure that I had enough SD cards. I made sure like everything was on track. I would watch the clips back after I shot them to make sure I got everything. And we wrapped up shooting at about 9 o'clock. They helped me pack up my lights. I packed up all my equipment and I came home. And I literally edited the whole film in a week. And I had it published that Sunday. So I don't know if it's just me, but I like to do everything like quick, not rush, but I'm on top of my stuff. Like if I have all the footage, why can't I finish it in a week? Like I have everything I need. I have all the footage. Why not? All it is sitting down and putting it together. And like for me, editing is my favorite part of the whole process because you know, when you're writing a script, when you're casting, it's a lot of work. You have to count on other people. When you edit, you have everything you need right in front of you. And you just sit down and you just put it together like beautifully. So editing to me is my favorite part. So once I had my hands on all the footage, I sat down and edited it right together. I was gonna release it that Friday, but we needed to reshoot the car accident scene. So that Saturday we reshot. I came home, put it in the new films, and I had it uploaded the very next day. So in a span, this entire thing only took me about 2.5 months from when I wrote the script to when I published it on YouTube. 2.5 months. And that's super amazing. I couldn't have done it without the actors, without my co-director. And I just feel really good that I pulled that off. But that's like why I said I took a break since then, because it was just a lot. Like it was just a lot to do, and I just needed a break. But now I'm getting ready to write my next script. I think I'm going to do a YouTube mini series next. So I'm going to start working on that. And I also decided that I want to kind of like mold my YouTube more into a platform for stuff like this. Like I want to teach other people how to do what I'm doing. I want to like vlog, you know, me pursuing my dream of doing film, because up until this point I really have never had a niche on my channel, because I kind of just like everything, you know, like I like to do film and I'm a director, but I also like makeup and clothes, so I kind of just did everything. But you know, for my YouTube to really be successful and just for my own personal growth, I feel like I need to hone in on one thing. So I want to kind of, you know, hone in on film vlogs of me pursuing this film and just helping other people like myself to do film and, you know, do stuff like this on your own. Like I said, I had no budget for this, no money, no backup. Like I used my own equipment, my own creativity, and my friends and family helped me out a lot. So don't think that if you don't have all this money and, you know, a whole backup team that you can't do it, because you can. So I just hope that this video was super helpful for you guys. I hope it wasn't boring, me explaining everything, but like it's really good information to know. Like I wish I had seen, you know, a video like this before I did it, so that I could know what to expect and like what to do. So I hope that this video was really helpful. I really hope that you guys, you know, can see what I'm doing and know like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it too, because you can. And, you know, definitely if any of you guys are making your own short films or have any questions, contact me, you know, on my Instagram, on here, in the comments, on my email. And tag me in your videos, you know, ask me anything. I'm an open book. So as always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this video. Give it a thumbs up and turn my post notifications on, because I'm going to start posting every week now, once again. And follow me on Instagram at Christiana Yvonne. I'm very active on there, as well as my IGTV. I do short films on my IGTV account, you know, separate from YouTube. So just keep in touch with me, guys. Join my channel, join my family, and I will see you guys in my next video.